We are now going to talk about the request section of the Laravel documentation. When we talk about request, we are primarily talking about what the user is sending to our application. In this section, I want us to first go back and revert the tickets index method. In the last video, we returned an object's print method. We want to switch this back to returning the viewTickets.index. The next thing is that we need to add a text field input to our view called name. We'll need this to use as an example of the request object. We can access all users' post submissions via the request object within our controller methods. Let's assign the variable name to the request input property and die and dump the result. Die and dump is a Laravel helper method that just means die and dump, i.e. stop the application and show us what information is available. It's an easy way during development to have a quick look at some data. Now, let's see what happens when we enter the name Cameron and submit. Great, we see that we are grabbing the name, which if we wanted to, we could write to a database or perform some other action. The request object is pretty powerful and has a lot of options. Let's have a quick overview of what's possible. If we want to get the request path, we can do request path. We can also check if the request is at a certain URL. Its request is and the path that you want. If you want to retrieve the URL without any query strings, it's request URL. Or if you want the query strings, it's request full URL. The key thing here I want to emphasize is that these methods are very much like they sound, and that's a great thing, because Laravel or any application should be as simple and intuitive to use as possible. It's also worth noting before we end this video is that you can access query parameters using the request object too. Let's try accessing the variable age and die and dump the result. Okay, let's attempt to call the tickets index route with the variable age and see what response we get. Great, we get the expected response. In the next video, we are going to cover more features of the request object.